it's going to be fierce competition, but very exciting.
That's very cool. So am I correct in thinking that you were at COP26?
I was indeed.
Would you be happy to tell us what was it like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first of all, until you're actually there, you can you don't really get an idea of the magnitude of the event. I think that was something that really struck by when I attended in Glasgow last month. And I guess just the sheer amount of content that is available as well. Like there's a lot of information for policymakers, influencers, people in the industry to really tap into, and the access to people as well. I mean, obviously the negotiations are taking place there, and those are behind closed doors, but there are sort of politicians, policymakers, advisors there that you actually have access to to share information and have a two-way dialogue with. And I think that really I think that struck me. That I was really quite surprised by that. I just didn't think that it was that's how it would be. I guess. We participated through the Global Wind Energy Council, who had a global coalition to champion the wind industry, and there was a strong campaign of "Wind, Are You In?" as well. It was fantastic to go into the event with that structure, because we were everyone that was a part of the coalition was very well briefed, and was advised on how to make the best out of your participation there as well. So I think we really valued that, because the days go really quickly. So sort of having that guidance and knowing when to sort of making the most of your time there and the access that you have, I think we found really valuable as well.
Yeah, cool.
When you're actually on, so I was going to say, when you're on ground, you actually rely on others and the news on your phone to tell you what's going on with the negotiations, because you're so busy on ground that you actually need to replay the day back to find out what announcements have been made and what progress has been made.
But what I was going to say is that almost I imagine if you went back in your career to the point where you got your first job at EEF or whoever, that when later, fast forward, when you start to get into policy and the stuff that you were talking about, and I guess from your degree, to actually be in the room, in the building, where it was a really big deal, not just in England, like around the world. That's pretty cool. And that's always one of the things that I miss about when I used to do a lot of the public sector offshore windy type stuff, is that you felt part of something that's actually going to make a difference.
Absolutely. And I think, and Steve, you'll relate to this. When you're in the sort of the energy sector, and then you sort of really get honed in to looking at, to advocating for a particular energy resource, like we are with offshore wind, and more recent times, the floating aspect, you kind of lose sight with other elements which are really important: environmental conservation, sort of biodiversity, sort of just general other policy, which is really a part of the climate change pie, if you like. And I think that's what COP really brings back, how everything fits together in that bigger picture to actually achieve what we're trying to in combating climate change and really making a difference on global warming. I think that's what really also sort of hits home, and it shows the significance of the work that you're doing in that bigger picture as well.
Yeah, that's very cool. It's what you hope is that, I don't want to, poo-poo people that send rockets into space, but it's almost where, because the business opportunity is there, a Jeff Bezos or an Elon Musk or whoever, yes, they do their own stuff, but someone to really just own investment into clean energy, they, because I guess you get to a certain point where you've probably got enough money that you kind of, you're good. But then, if you could have genuine global impact, and yes, Bill Gates with his foundation, they've, helped with millions of people. But it's that balance of, because the business case is actually there and it all stacks up, the hope is that people, companies, everyone really gets on board with this. And just, I guess wait and see what happens. But it's still amazing to think that, go back just 10 years. And in like human evolution terms, 10 years is nothing. But we've come so far, so quick. And my hope is at some point in the northeast of England, there's a lot of companies now looking at carbon capture and storage and different things.